Hello, this is Tepid with Gordo's Games, and we have a meta-shaking ban list for the Digimon TCG. Effective November 11th US side and December 1st for the JP, the following cards will be restricted to one copy: Calling from Darkness, Sunrise Buster, Xiaomon Cross 4, and Doragramon. This is honestly a shocking list as BT10 is barely out of pre-release and hasn't really been able to simmer, with only one major event, an Ultimate Cup in Latin America, using the cards. Furthermore, the tops for that event mainly included Blue Flare and Alphamon, which leaves the quick Xroshearts ban confusing. Going through the individual cards and Bandai's own justifications, Calling from Darkness was a major enabler for loop-style decks. These are an unintended playstyle for Bandai, and this is their way of focusing Digimon TCG into a more control, aggro, and mid-range triangle for the meta. Now, this I can agree with, as having played against a very strong Lilith Loop player during BT5 and 6, it can be frustrating. Nobody wants to play Solitaire, and the Digimon card game isn't balanced for these types of decks, as outside of blocker or your random hits of security, you don't interact with your opponent on their turn. The next hit is Sunrise Buster, a powerful tool for Xroshearts and Yellow Hybrid. This card was the most feared thing when testing against Xroshearts, and it could feel oppressive to not only lose a Digimon, but give your opponent another advantage engine in the form of a Tamer. And while I do understand putting it down, I feel like Bandai needs to look at putting cards to 2 or 3 in some cases. Sunrise Buster is a house of a card, but if it were 2 copies, it would increase the chances of your opponent having to hardcast it, making things feel more fair. Also, it's unfortunate to see Yellow Hybrid catch an incidental hit when the deck was just starting to recover. The big news is Xiaomon Cross 4, a devastating blow to the Xroshearts deck and leaving a gap that can't be filled by the other archetype cards. Cross 4B requires Xiaomon Cross 4, Xiaomon King fills gaps for Digicross and is not a game winner like Cross 4, and there just isn't a level 4 that can be that playmaker. And with Xiaomon Cross 3 in the horizon until BT11, with the deck's new top end in the form of Xiaomon Cross 7, the current future for it from now until EX3 is hazy at best. While people can test with a single copy of Cross 4, it may not be enough as the deck was already facing an issue of consistency. For any Xiaomon players out there, now is not the time to get rid of your Xiaomon cards, however, as they will only be seeing a massive drop in response to this list. You'd be selling them for pennies when they will rise again when BT11 drops with the new cards, and you can either return to the deck and you enjoy it, or at least sell them for what they should be worth. And finally, we have the Doragramon ban, which has been discussed on the channel before, but it's hard for me to be too sympathetic. The Alphamon strategy already has 2 other level 5s in the form of Grademon and Hisadiumon, as well as multiple pieces of support from the 3 archetypes that released cards for it. Also, being a Royal Knight, it's likely to see even more support going forward. If the deck has to adapt to a more controlling or late game strategy, that makes full sense to me, as there was no worse feeling than putting your opponent to 1 memory and having them evolve from a level 4 up to level 7 and still be on turn. Doragramon was a tool to be abused by Oryuken mode, checking multiple times and subsequent abuse with Oriumon. Now it's unable to do that, it will have to adapt, but is by no means unplayable. With all that covered, how do you feel about the ban list? Please let us know in the comments below. Would you have added anything? Would you have taken anything out? Looking forward to bringing you deck profiles post Ultimate Cup and ban list. As always, stay safe out there.